Hello, today we are going to create a calculated column and create a regular column within the full Grade Center within Blackboard. Now, in order to create a column, you need to navigate to the Course Management menu and then to the full Grade Center. Now, once you're in the full Grade Center, you might notice that some columns are pre-calculated. Whenever you create an assignment link, a test link, a discussion board, or such within the course management area, whether it be in the module section or the assignment section or what have you, it automatically creates that column for you. However, you may find that there's not a column created for something like if you do an extra credit column or something of that sort. So we'll be going over how to do that today. So the first thing we're going to go to is the gray buttons right here above the full Grade Center. One is create column and one is create calculated column. Now for create column, it's very simple. You simply select the button and it opens a new page. Now you can give the column a name. You can give it a name separate that will be viewed in the Grade Center. So if, for instance, if you want to create an extra credit column, but you don't want the Grade Center to show it as extra credit, you can just put a different word in here to hide that it's an extra credit column. You have to name at least the column, and if you do leave the Grade Center field blank, it will take the main column name as the name it shows in the Grade Center. Now you get your handy descriptor box that comes in all of the Blackboard editing features. You can give it a description if you so choose. That is completely up to you. Under that, you have two different types of displays. You have your primary display and secondary display. For the primary display, you're gonna normally keep it on score. This allows you to enter numerical values for the students. So if it's out of 10 points and they got a 9, you would enter the 9 directly. If you want, you can enter text, so A, B, C, D, E. You can also do percentage. So if it was a 9 out of 10 and you want to put 90 in there instead of a 9 out of 10, you could do percentages. Letter is the same as text, A, B, C, D, F, and then you can also do incomplete, complete, and this simply just puts a check mark once they complete it. A lot of times this incomplete, complete feature is used for participation grades such as a survey or a first day attendance, or maybe even turning in a memorandum of understanding within the first week. You do have the ability to add a secondary display, and again, you can do percentage, letter, or you can also do the complete, incomplete check mark if you would like. I always suggest that if you're doing a secondary display that you do the percentage display as opposed to the letter, just because depending on your grading scale, that letter grade may or may not throw off the student's perception of what their grade should be. The other thing you can do is you can select a category. These categories are what are automatically assigned if you create this column within the content area of the course. If you want to change the category of something, you can also do it here, depending on what category you want to use. Your options are assignment, final, midterm, survey, test, discussion, blog, journal, self and peer, attendance, or safe assignment. The next thing you have is your points possible. You can add as many points, or you can put as many points as you want, however many the assignment is worth, and this is where you would put it. Next, you can associate a rubric. A rubric, if you've already created a rubric, you can select it out of the rubrics menu. You can create new rubrics, or you can create using a previously made rubric here. These are really helpful if you have your teaching assistants grading for you, and just to make sure that they're all grading in the same fair manner and everyone is being graded on the same criteria. You can also see the tutorial about how to create and use rubrics on the College of Business YouTube channel for more information about using rubrics. The next thing that you get into is your dates. You can grading period. If you have created grading periods, they will list out here. In this course, they have listed out for the 16-week semester a grading period for each week. The date created auto fills for you, and the due date you can select. I always stress that putting a due date is super important for a number of reasons. Your due dates are obviously on your syllabus, and that is your contract with your students. However, if you put it within the Blackboard environment, this will show up on their grades page so that they know when this is expected to be due by outside of the syllabus. It just reinforces the material you already have listed in your syllabus, and it makes it clear so that there are no arguments down the line with students knowing where that due date was or when it was. The next section you get is the options section. This is really important. Include this column in Grade Center calculations. You want to select yes for this. Unless it's an extraneous column that you're no longer counting, you will always include this in your calculations. The other second important thing here is showing this column to students. If this is something that's coming up you don't want them quite to see yet, you can select no, but realize that once those grades start going in, whether you've made this column available for them to view or not, that you'll need to come back and change this to yes and make it viewable to them. The other option listed down here is show statistics. This will give the average and the median for the entire class in a separate column to the students in the My Grades field. Some instructors use this, some don't. Some like to use it on tests just to give students an idea of where everyone's falling. I personally like using it because I feel it gives students a good idea of where they can gauge themselves in terms of the rest of the class. After you've submitted all of your steps, you want to push submit once, and you want to make sure you're clicking it only once in order to make sure that everything is filled out correctly. After you've created your column, you'll see the success green bar at the top of the Grade Center, and you will see that the Grade Center will reload and it will add that column at the very end of your gradebook right here. Now, if we want to create a calculated column, these become really handy at the end of near the end of the semester when students are trying to figure out where their grade falls on the grading scale you've given them in your syllabus. So you have 4 different options here. You can create an average, a minimum, maximum, a total, or a weighted column. Weighted columns don't get used that often unless you're weighting your grades. Total column is, for all intents and purposes, is the most commonly used, and that's what we'll be going over today. Now again, in this you need to add a name, and again, the Grade Center name if you wish to display something different than what you are calling it within your full Grade Center. Again, you're given your description box, and again you can see that you're given the options of a primary and a secondary display. The difference being here that you have the same 5 options and the same 4 options, so actually no difference between the regular column creation. You'll notice there's no due date listed here for this. Calculated columns aren't tied to assignments or tests or any content within the course. This specific type of column we're using right now is a calculated column for a total grade. So you can put it in a grade period. Most likely it's going to be your last one if you do put it in a grade period. If you are breaking up your semester into quarters or some form of division for the grading periods, this next section might be right up your alley what you're looking for, because you can literally select grade columns within certain periods. So if you're doing the first 4 weeks, weeks 1 through 4, you can select that. You can do all grade columns. You can also select the specific grade columns that you want to include. This can come in very handy if maybe you have an extra grade column at the end of the semester and you want to make sure that it's not being calculated in your final grades. So to do this, you simply select the assignments and you can push Control to select multiple ones, and you want to push the over arrow to add them as the selected columns. You can also do this by category. So again, if you filled out the category for all of your different assignments and content within your course, you can just click here and have those type of things counted for you over in the selected column. Now, if you do a category, it will ask for some additional information. If you want to drop grades within a certain period, you can drop them. You can drop the highest grade, you can drop the lowest grade, and you can select which one of each you want to do. You can use the value to calculate the lowest and the highest. Again, depends on what you want to do there. And these options are available through each of these different categories that you select. Next, the last selection in this is calculate as a running total. This gives you the option, if you're using it throughout the semester to as things add up, only things that have been due and turned in will count towards the total column, so it's easier for your students to gauge where they are in the course. The last set of options you have is the same options that we saw from our creating a column earlier. It's the same, including it in Grade Center calculations, showing it to students, and showing statistics. Again, those options are all up to you. You do want to include it in Grade Center calculations. You can show it to students if you want to. If you want to wait and you're only going to give them their final grade the last week of class, again, that is up to you. And statistics, again, another good feature, but completely up to you. We want to press submit once. And you can see the green success bar saying that we've created our calculated column. You'll also notice that again the Grade Center is reloading itself. And if we scroll all the way to the end, we can see here that we do have a test column that was in our week 16 grading period, as we had selected in our options. This has been Aiden Sizemore with how to create a calculated column or a regular column within the full Grade Center.